This is just an important warning for any personal brand out there or business that is currently online, is that you can't rely on one platform. For some businesses, they absolutely relied on having their TikTok accounts in order to make money. Guess what? Suddenly, in less than 24 hours, their account got banned.
Basically, by building your own audience, it doesn't matter if every single platform were to drop off the face of the earth today, you would still be able to email, text, promote, and communicate with your audience that you have been building and curating.
Welcome, legends, to Podcast Marketing Secrets,
where we share all of the tactics and strategies from the #1 podcasting agency
on how to launch, grow, manage, and monetize a successful, high-converting podcast.
Let's take your business and content to the next level.
Welcome back to another episode of Pod Marketing Secrets, your #1 place for founders, business owners, and entrepreneurs who are looking to scale their personal brands and businesses with viral podcast systems. I'm your host, Nelson.
And I am your co-host, Cal. And I'm very excited because today we are tackling a relatively hot topic, but with an undertone and a key point, right? And so the hot topic that we're going to be exploring today is what's happened recently with the banning and then unbanning of TikTok in the States, but more importantly, what that actually means for you and your podcast and your social platforms broadly.
Absolutely. So if you haven't been caught up to speed, essentially TikTok got recently banned in the States. It got reinstated shortly after that. It's still not very sure in terms of what's going to happen with the platform. Obviously, the States is going through a change of leadership, and there seems to be some sort of relationship building in the back end for the platform to continue to survive. But that's not even the main point why we're bringing that, right? This is just an important warning for any personal brand out there or business that is currently online building their authority and just trying to essentially have a marketing engine for their back-end businesses, is that you can't rely on one platform.
No, not at all. And even just to set the scene, say that you've ever been hacked before on any of your social accounts, you will have experienced what it's like when you have put so much time, effort, and energy into building up a specific platform. You've maybe gotten to a few thousand, dedicated followers, and you might also know the influence of having that platform on your back-end business and service. And so say if you have ever been in that unfortunate situation where you might have been hacked or you've had that platform taken away from you for a short period of time, you'll know the impact that having any given platform, whether it be your Facebook, your Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, there's so many at the moment, but you'll know the impact of having a platform taken away from you and how actually bad that can be for your back-end business. So of course, we're not talking about something being hacked today, but it's a similar example in that what happens if TikTok actually dies for good?
Absolutely. And for some businesses, they absolutely relied on having their TikTok accounts in order to make money, especially businesses that relied on things like TikTok Shop, that has been quite the trend, especially for e-commerce products. And a lot of businesses are making millions of dollars through TikTok. And guess what? Suddenly, in less than 24 hours, their account got, banned. So how can you make sure that you're always having a plan B in case your main marketing channel gets banned, terminated? These are all the things that happen, guys, as well. Your Facebook account can get terminated. We have seen that happen for clients in the past. We have seen people commented online where they say, hey, I haven't even broke any guideline and my account got suspended. I'm appealing for it. Ad accounts, same exact thing. You can't just rely on one ad account for the main channel of monetization of your funnels or back-end businesses or driving traffic. So here's where Omnipresence is the solution to this. not putting all your eggs on one basket, not relying on just Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn, is how can you make sure that you're across all the major platforms so that you can be multi-channel and have omnipresence, because ultimately it will not only give you the peace of mind that if anything happens to the platform in itself, you still have a marketing engine going in the background so that you can either try to solve the problem depending on what it is, whether it's an appeal for your account, or maybe you just got completely banned, maybe the platform in itself is gone, so then you can repurpose your resources and efforts into a different marketing channel, but also just having the peace of mind that your business is not gonna go down
Yeah.
because a platform maybe got you banned or your account got suspended or terminated.
Yeah, and this is a massive mistake that most people make when it comes to their social media. So often they'll be focused on one specific platform. Often I find that it's Instagram, but it really depends, right? So yes, you might have one platform where you're very interested in getting results because that might be where, your target audience is and where you've curated them to be, but you should always, always, always have another platform that you're really trying to build just as much as well as all of the others. So that's one aspect to this puzzle, right? Which is ensuring that you are omnipresent across all platforms, because the other side of this is that once you've got a piece of content that's made, it's not difficult to actually distribute that across the other platforms as well and start building your audience. You 100% should be doing that, and we're big advocates for that. But the other aspect to all of this is that on your social platforms, no matter which one you're using, you don't own that audience. And so we are very big proponents for actually owning your audience. And this is where things like databases start to come into play. So for instance, email databases being a fantastic example.
Probably the biggest difference to make here is that when you're building an audience on the major social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and so on, you don't own your audience. You're renting it from the platform, okay? So a follower is not someone that you actually own. You just have that follower on that specific platform. So what you want to do is move from a rented audience to an own audience. This means that now you're taking that specific follower, listener, or subscriber to give you their details so that then you can build a database in the backend where usually you might have their emails and phone numbers and any other details that you're collecting in the backend. Now, the question is, I would like to have an own audience. How can I achieve that? Well, there's different vehicles to prompt your followers to give you their details. Usually, a really good way of doing this is having a highly valuable lead magnet. A lead magnet is usually a free resource that you put together that is extremely valuable and that gives a specific result that your audience wants to achieve or is desirable to your audience. These usually can be either to signing up to a newsletter, or it can live on a specific landing page. It can be a free training, a free ebook, a PDF that you're giving, so that they give their details and in exchange they get the specific resource that you're giving away.
So basically, by building your own audience, it doesn't matter if every single platform were to drop off the face of the earth today, you would still be able to email, text, promote, and communicate with your audience that you have been building and curating. It's really important that you start implementing this right now and building your audience in the back end. If you're podcasting, you can be including that in things like your show notes, your link in bios, etc.
Absolutely. And one more thing to mention as well is that your podcast is actually an own audience. Your RSS feed is something that you can take to different podcasting hosts. So if anything happens to your specific podcast hosting platform, you can simply take your RSS feed somewhere else. So you own the audience when you do get a podcast subscriber as well. So quick recap. make sure that you are generating or striving to have omnipresence across all major social media platforms. Maximize the repurpose of your content. This is where a viral podcast system is the fastest way to get you across all these major platforms. Literally, you just record one piece of content, just like we're doing here right now. And guess what? Our team is gonna grab this thing, it's gonna put it on YouTube for the long form piece of content. It's gonna extract the audio to go on Apple Podcasts and other audio platforms. The long form can go also on video format now on Spotify, and then we're gonna repurpose, creating a lot of short form pieces of content to then go onto LinkedIn, Shorts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so on. And lastly, we're gonna create a newsletter as well to target our database and continue to build relationships through email marketing.
And secondly, don't forget that you want to be going from your rented audience across your social platforms to your owned audiences. And as Nelson mentioned, a fantastic way to do that is by leveraging lead magnets. So hopefully this episode has given you some things to seriously consider and think about. This is something that we would urge you to implement as soon as possible, because just like we saw with TikTok, a platform can go down tomorrow and you don't want your business dying alongside with it.
Absolutely. So get out there and start building your marketing engine with a viral podcast system. And if you're a founder, CEO, or entrepreneur that would like our help building and implementing that system, head and check the links down below. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you later. Thank you for joining us on Podcast Marketing Secrets. If you found value in this episode, the best way you can support us in continuing to deliver this content to you is by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. Now, if you're keen to connect with us, we are at Vibez Creative on all your other social media platforms. Please send us your questions, engage with us, let us know what you want to hear about next on the podcast, and we'll be sure to create content around that.
And if you're interested in partnering with us for the highest level of support for you to be able to launch, grow, manage, and monetize a successful podcast for your business or your personal brand, we offer different levels of support, starting from our services, one-on-one coaching, as well as our completely done-for-you system. So if you're interested in finding out more, book a call with our team down in the description below.